Reminisce. Every Tuesday. Hey. Yes. Yes, Reminisce Show, man, carrying the traditions of Sankofa, man, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we may have forgotten. And yo, hip hop is alive and well. We are here, man. It's been an incredible week, man. Lots of energy going on, man. Lots to build on, lots to discuss.
So much.
We're going to bring it to you live, man. Yeah, Reminisce Show.
Yo, thanks for last week, that on location Viola Desmond business. That was tight.
Yeah. I actually still have some content for that I haven't uploaded yet, though. But you know what I mean? We'll definitely bring that around, man. But but we can do a little recap of that. But before we get into that, man, how are you doing, brother? What's going on your end, bro?
All right. I had an early morning. I'm making some art at OCAD, but got some rest. And yeah, man, I'm feeling good, blessed and highly favored and seen by the ancestors and the future, man. I like my life, man. It's pretty good. And how about you? How are you feeling?
Yo, man, feeling blessed, man. You know, just like juggling a lot, man. I got a few different presentations, going on with the schools today, or not today, but this week. Got to do a workshop with staff, which is pretty interesting. Doing stuff with the students. Like today was a crazy snowfall. You know what I mean? But like I mentioned before, I was just happened to wear my my winter coat, and I picked up some boots, and I had to like switch my running shoes and put on some boots right away. I was like, yo, it's crazy. My phone stopped working for like a while, so I had to go to Bell and get that all sorted out or whatever. So it's been running around, but we here, man, representing peace righteous,
every time, man.
Yeah, man. Well, man, it's been like a blessed week, man. I feel like really inspired with just some of the events that we've been able to check out. As you mentioned, like we got to see like the Viola Desmond. Yeah, Viola Desmond.
Yeah. I bring that up too. They're the same level of black goddess.
Absolutely. I know Viola Desmond. Yeah, and how what the main theater in TIFF is renamed after her, which I thought was very, that's very smooth. That's very smooth.
Yeah, that is so
appropriate, very appropriate.
Yo, I'm really glad we got to talk to the man Cameron Bailey, man.
Yes.
Really, that man. I saw him on the subway like 5 or 6 months ago on the TTC real quick, and I shook his hand. I was like, Cameron Bailey, because I've been going to. I saw 8 Mile, the world premiere of 8 Mile. That's like the
TIFF.
Yeah, TIFF. Yeah, so I got the very last ticket in the whole like. The very last ticket that was ever given away for 8 Mile, it was me. I turned to the person behind me. I'm like, sorry. And I walked in and I saw the premiere. M wasn't there, but Kim Basinger was there. And I've always wanted to meet Cameron and talk to him. So I talked to him on the TTC a little while ago, and I was like, what up? You don't know me, but I see you out here. You're a black man working with TIFF in cinema. I see you and I respect you. But I never got to interview him. He's like, hey, peace.
Yeah.
So when we got to have our interview with him on last Tuesday, it was a long time coming.
Yeah, no, that's really dope. And so how that link came about, and I wish I had time to like edit and show some clips, but we'll show that next week if anything. Yeah. How the link came about was through a friend of mine, Aaron Francis, who's actually the older brother of Astro. He's a photographer who's been doing a lot of stuff with Drake lately. He's been slaughtering it. I've known these guys for since like early rapping days and whatnot. And Astro used to be a really dope MC. He used to go by the name Astrologicals, right? So we both had the logical names, and I was just like, the way how he went off in those bars, he was like the only guy. I was like, okay, man, both of us can hold this name. We became tight brethrens. Anyways, reconnected years later, seeing him doing his photography thing. And then his brother has a page called Vintage Black Canada. So I don't know if y'all been seeing that on Instagram. Make sure you go check it out. but what he's been doing is archiving a lot of like the Black experience, man. So throwback vintage photos of like Black family in Canada. They're particularly from Kitchener. So there's a lot of like his family, photos from like the 70s and the 80s, that real like throwback aesthetic, and just the best way I can explain it is if you've seen that documentary, Summer of Soul, like with Questlove and whatnot, and like it gives that type of energy. Like that's the best way that I can like compare it. It's like this whole forgotten era of our history, of our culture, and it's like, yo, like we were here in color. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those kind of things. So anyway, so he was connected with Tiff and was also showing some of the photos from his collection as well. If you notice, those were on the wall. He reached out to me and I submitted some photos and whatnot, and then he was like, yo, like we're doing this screening thing or whatever, why don't you come through? And what was interesting is he connected me to his point person at TIFF, which is Hoda, and she is someone who I've known for years too, which I didn't even know she was connected to TIFF. So now we got a link, and you already know I'm already plotting TIFF next year. So
get in.
So yo, man, I need that festival pass. You feel me? Like we need that festival pass. We need that red carpet.
Yeah.
Like, yo, community connection. So anyway, so it was just like a family affair of just like, things coming back full circle, and us just being there was just such a vibe. Shout out John Blackman. We got an interview with him as well, which he showed some photographs highlighting Little Jamaica and some of like, the Black businesses in the community and the stories behind them. And it was just like a really like dope vibe, you know what I mean? But we got to see a really dope film, you know what I mean? When Morning Comes, man, by the homegirl Kells, man. Shout out Kells. Man, I'm gonna let you take it away, man. Like you tell me what that experience was for you.
Yo, that movie. See, I was expecting, and I thought it was gonna be a Viola Desmond documentary or something.
Right.
And I was like, oh, switch it up. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm slightly confused, but let's check it out. Black woman filmmaker. All right, let's check it. Oh my God, that story they told a story that's never been told, first and foremost. But it talks about it in various other ways, and it just talked about immigration from an African diasporic perspective that's never been discussed, but it connects to us in a super special way. Us here in Toronto, Canada, and just us being like, yo, man, we're fucking Black too. We're here. We have our, from Africville to Toronto, Black Canadian reality is real. We here, man. We ain't American. We ain't British. We are us. So like seeing a young Jamaican boy being like, yo, and that was so ill. They're like, yo, you're that reason he was getting into trouble at school. I don't want to ruin.
Well, don't give away too much of the film.
So he's getting in trouble at school. I'm not going to say why, but it's like an ill thing and it's real. And then the mom's like, all right, so we're sending you to Canada with your grandma. And then it's just a little boy dealing with oh shit, I'm going to Canada. I don't know.
On a far end, y'all. You mean on a far end?
Far end, yeah. I'm not on a far end. My friends aren't there or whatever. So it's just like, man, it hit me on so many levels, man. I can't even think about that last scene, the way they connected it to Toronto and hip hop. I will never ruin it, but there's tears.
It was a beautiful vibe for me because, again, the immigrant story, especially of young people, leaving their home country and coming to a whole new foreign land, and all that adjustments and just that come with that. It totally reminded me of my parents, coming up because they came to Canada at young ages. My mom came here when she was about 7, my pops, when he was 12, 13, you know what I mean? So it's and that adjustment, it would be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm going to throw it out there, man. Shout out Kells, man. Maybe she can do a part 2, but the reverse, because we've always heard about, you know what I mean? The same type of scenario, man. Something is going on. It's, you need to go fix up, man. Send you back home, and that happens too as well. You know what I mean? So that would be an interesting dynamic as well to show that.
Man, that movie would be ill. That would be a really dope movie too, yo. Take a Toronto kid and be like, yo, man, we're putting you back. Yeah. Yo, you're too suburban downtown Babylon. Yeah. North American, we need to connect you to Black culture again. You are Caribbean.
That would be amazing.
You are
Yo,
African. Like, we are reminding you, young man.
yo, that would be sick. And then seeing him, like connect with like the Rasta community and like the roots and really understand to get like that knowledge of self type vibe, like that angle. I think that would be pretty cool, man.
That's it.
Yeah,
That would be beautiful. So yeah, that movie was really fantastic. I walked out of there, chest just full of tears and pride. So, oh my God, it was so beautiful. And shout out just all the people who helped put that together. It's been a shout out Mel Boogie. Mel Boogie was dope running.
Yep. We got that Mel Boogie interview as well, man. We're just collecting the interviews, man. Yeah.
Oh, good, man. We gonna get hundreds of these, man. It's so good being in the trenches with you and just talking to the community, man. Like, yo, like all it is, and like we always start. It's like, yo, man, we only want a couple minutes. We're not gonna do the Reminisce Show live with you yet.
Yeah.
For the 1 hour history lesson soon, but it's like, all right, it's like we start off saying, yeah, we just have like one question. We want to say one thing, but like, they always sense us being so real about it and dedicated that they give a really good answer that starts a conversation.
Yes.
And it's I'm always like, oh, we're from Cardi to Mel. I was like, yo, I really just want to like ask you one good question, but they're like, yo, man, y'all are heads, and like, yo, let's just talk about this for a little. And like, we get
and you know what, and it's so blessed, man. We got to shout out our partner out in Montreal, man. Hit Story. We've been partnering, bringing you some like live coverage. We're gonna show a clip in a bit. And it's just great though. Like, I love when the alliance, and the alignments come together, because we've been partnering with other companies and things of that nature for a while, but this one seems right. Like, this is the one that we've been waiting for, and I'm just really excited for the potential that we can do collaboratively. And I love the fact that they're based out in Montreal and we're in Toronto representing a Montreal brand. It's like this Trojan horse type of vibe, you know what I mean? And it just makes it more exciting, So when we approach people, it's like, yo, this is like a Montreal brand. So like what we're doing is actually going out into their demographic, you know what I mean? And builds what we're doing stronger. And it also, and it's also great for us too as well, right? So when it's time to go out to Montreal and build and be like, oh, like these are the guys who are just doing everything, just doing the most.
Man, for real, we out here, man, and it's definitely a global thing, man. It's definitely a cross Canada thing, and it's not just about Toronto. Toronto's cool, but like Toronto can sleep sometimes. So it's just like, hey, man, people who are getting slept on in their towns come to Toronto sometimes and get mad love. A lot of artists know that they get enough love here. So for us Toronto cats, whether it's media or music, it's like, yo, man, if the Montreal cats are be like, yo, man, we like how y'all do your interviews and y'all are connected to the scene. Let's build a bridge. So we happy to do that with Hit Story, and we're gonna keep building it higher and higher. Next summer is the big 5-0.
I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for it. So I don't know if you want to play, this quick, video or whatever, which or do you want to play something first, and then we'll get into the interview. So let's switch it up a bit. What do you got?
I don't got much today, man, but I mean, there's a lot of events in life happening, much less like World War III possibly starting today. Even though I also wanted to throw in real quick, there has never really been a world war. There's just been war across the world, but everybody in the world is not fighting. It's just European people and a couple other people fighting. So like,
shout out my professor, man, at the University of Toronto, man, Professor Ratuaru, man, rest in peace, God bless his soul. But he was the first one to bring that to the table, and it's like, yo, the world is in that war. I'm like, yo, that's so true. But this is how like propaganda works. You know what I mean? They put these ideas and you think, oh, it's the world, okay, like, and it's like, no, hold on, let's be critical thinkers, let's think about this.
Like, no African nations are involved in that. No Caribbean nations are involved in that. No South American nations are really involved.
Right.
No, man, there's just, I mean, there are global powers fighting, yes, and I'm not saying that it's not going to impact us or whatever, and it's whatever. It's like, yo, man.
Wow.
Something else really wonderful happened. King's Disease 3.
Oh,
man.
Honestly, man, shout out Nas, man, for his evolution. he's been like, you know, releasing albums like mixtapes just nonstop, and they're all fire, like, you know, really like aged like fine wine, and it's just beautiful to see, man. Nas is one of my favorite artists of all time. One of the reasons why I started rapping. Anybody who like knows like my flow, that smooth delivery, man, that's all Nas, man. That's all Nas influence, you know, storyteller, man, just using his voice. That's just like, you know, this like melodic, hypnotic type of, you know what I'm saying? Like the ultimate narrator, yo.
The ultimate narrator, and the finest, choicest wine in hip hop, man. Yeah. And came out the gates 19 years old with a bona fide classic, Eternal Hip Hop album. And he is now 49 years old and just created maybe the illest trilogy, arguably the illest trilogy in all of, not, you know, there's been a couple dope trilogies, but this is like way up there and then trilogy.
And then he even squeezed in like an album in between that, like Magic. You know what I mean? He's just like, yo, let me just give you all abundance right now, man.
Yeah, just like the trilogy of greatness. Even though King's Disease 1 isn't as good as King's Disease 2 or 3, it's still a brilliant concept, and it still is a Grammy-winning album.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's a Grammy in the same way that Training Day is a Grammy for Denzel Washington. It's like, we know it's not your very greatest, but you have deserved one for so long.
For sure.
So that being said, you're absolutely right. Like Nas, it's a super magic, amazing, greatest trilogy of an elder statesman in hip hop ever, of any 40-year-old plus rapper, like showing that it's not a young man's game. It's just whoever's got a hot, young, fire, ill pen game. And like, that could be anybody. So shout out to that. And yeah, this song just plays in my head. I want to play it up to one of the greatest lines of the year. If I think I want to talk about it for a sec, because what Nas said here. All right, let's go. Queensbridge, baby. No doubt. Not niggas, I really meant no music shit. There be some real thugs I grew up with. Phone calls from the feds, long story so fast. Wishing they get home in a hurry, cause we the last. Righteous, we gonna get into that. You know, Queens in the house. And love the Corley, that boss ordered us lots of tails late night in 40. We was out there trying to rid the stress. Had a beat tape from Stretch, Rest, Black Tech, Black Vest, to that's the dark aura. We hit the city deep in the Explorer. Looking at the source, wish I was the cover story that was coming shortly. Cars back then had brought back then. Rest in peace of you good men. The God stuck him. We not promised tomorrow. The model flicks a cowboy hat strapped like Desperado. They lit went out the chamber, iron fired in a vegetative state. When that man China died, stomped down on 12th Street. Memory fails me. Heard homie was a real G. That's what they tell me. I was the one to run through the functions, no funny acting. And it was me that introduced Minnie to money bags and Grandmaster Fit. Yeah, here it comes. The greatest line of the year to me. Yo, no beef for rapper, they play, keep the title. Brothers can do anything. When they decide to. The Range Rover dissecting bars from takeover. Sometimes I text over like nigga, this ain't over laughing.
hard.
Like we need to stop on that for 1 moment. Yo, never in history has that ever happened.
It's beautiful.
I need to say it again. No beef for rivals. They're playing Ether on Tidal. Brothers can do anything when they decide to. In a Range Rover, dissecting bars from Takeover. Sometimes I text over like, this ain't over. Laughing.
That's love, man. Oh, I love it. It's beautiful, man. Like we need that so badly, man. So badly.
Like Nas brought us so close into his life in that moment. Like I'm at the point with Jay-Z where we can joke about the beef now.
Yeah,
and I'm telling y'all, like, because I mean, it's so funny because the internet, we still talk about it. We still talk, of course. And I just love that Nas. He did it on a song called "Done." Shout out to Prodigy, like the wisdom on that on so many levels. And he's just like, he goes, they're playing Ether on Tidal. Like brothers can do anything when they decide to. Like say that shit. Nas, the last official song on the album is called "Don't Shoot," and Nas is like, "What if nobody died for 10 years?" He's just saying things like that. Just like, man, I'm so hype on that. But Righteous, yeah, we'll talk about that for a sec. Because 21 Savage came out his rabbit ass mouth. Did you see
What'd
that?
He say? What'd he say?
Man,
What'd he say?
This foolish kid was on Clubhouse like 2 days ago, and he's like, "Oh, Nas is irrelevant." He not only said something stupid, but he contradicted his own statement by it. And then today he backpedaled and fucking like said he didn't even say it because everyone came on his
didn't say it. No.
Dumbass. Yeah, he goes, oh, Nas isn't relevant anymore. He goes, I think Nas has a large fan base, but he's not relevant to the modern generation. And everyone's like, yo, bro, like you're hella gassed off yourself just because you fucking did an album with Drake. Like, nobody cares about you, 21 Savage. Are you fucking joking? Like, so a lot of people were like, no, shut the fuck up. You are tripping, son. You are bugging. And then right before we came on here, I saw Nas apparently like subliminally responded to it. And he just like, he put like, somebody was like the number 30 and they were talking about a song on the album is like 30. And Nas is like, I'm 30 summers deep in this shit. right. And Nas just had like a smiley face and somebody was like 30. And they're like, man, this kid, man. And then somebody's like, Nas just finished a fucking national tour with Wu-Tang, a sold out tour. What are you talking about? Irrelevant. That was the biggest tour of the summer. You fucking idiot. Like,
and I was there as witness that like these crowds are intergenerational now. You know what I mean? It's like it's not just that's a whole other level. You know what I mean? That's
it's adults and children going to see that. Yeah. And like 21 Savage will never in his life peak at the level that Nas was on for Nostradamus or Street's Disciple or any of his lower albums. So like,
right.
So like, it's ridiculous when I see this. And like, man, Nas is my dad, my fucking uncle, my teacher, my mentor.
Yeah.
Like, man, this album is such a beautiful thing.
And he's just like, just a real example of just like that wisdom and that knowledge, wisdom, understanding, his growth. Like we've seen his errors, we've seen his flaws. Like a lot of his life has been put on display and he's still shining, man. Like, and his like, integrity, his accountability, like it's beautiful to see. And like, this is like, what we need, because a lot of us, coming up in communities, man, we don't really have like, real examples to like really, like follow like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
man.
and he's, again, like he's just real with it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't come off cocky or whatever. He's just like, hey, this is just me. I'm doing my thing. And it's just beautiful to see. Like, I love seeing that. And again, these are like our artists that we've seen coming up from like 18. Now he's like moving into like, like the elder status. I don't want to call him an elder just yet, but you know what I mean though? Like, you know what I mean?
He's an OG. He's an OG.
He's an OG. 100%.
You know what? Missy Me had one of my favorite terms for that. She goes, young vet. Young veteran. Yeah. I was like, yo, veteran. Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
That's a salute. Yeah, like when you see them, you should be like, salute.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, no, it is straight up.
Yeah, but I just want to read Righteous comment right there, man, saying like, yo, man, we don't put knowledge before wisdom. A savage is someone who lost the knowledge of self and is living a beastly way of life. Like that's simple and plain. So, that's hey.
Yeah. So there was a couple really dope things. So I saw one meme that I was like, yeah, wow, that's powerful. Even though like Drake's cleared every fucking verse. 21 Savage is fucking way subpar on every single moment on that album they share together. But that being said, they put up the 2 posts and they're like, yo, here's a little something for the kids. And then they put up the Drake and 21 Savage. And then they put up the Nas King's Disciple. And they're like, now it's time for the big boys to play. And I was like, ooh, there's something in that statement. And I mean, not to take away from Drake, man. Drake, doing your thing. I'm very happy for you. Keep slapping up these fools. But 21 Savage is on some dumb shit with what he said, and is really ignorant on the album. He's pretty violent, and yeah, it's just really, really not that good. So Nas, I mean, there's so many moments. Nas has a song called Legit. He has Once a Man, Twice a Child, Don't Shoot. There's just so many.
So many of them. I was bumping them. My first time really taking the album today, actually, and I have to give it another listen. But every song, I was like, yo, there's gems. There's quotables in every track. Every track.
Wisdom, gems in every track. Just soul food for the culture. It's so good. I saw Barrel, like, it's not going to blow up and have these massive numbers, but I'm like, anybody who heard it was like, this is just dope. Nobody was even had the audacity to even diss it, because like, this is just, we know that this is greatness, and like, it's some of Hit Boy's best work. Shout out to Hit Boy too, because Hit Boy really,
he definitely showing it, man. Definitely bringing it. Absolutely, man.
So
man.
You're right, Natalia. Yeah, haters don't go hate. Yeah, these new kids, it's all just self-destruction. Nobody's really, they don't love each other the way that we used to. There's no more crew tracks. People don't just get on tracks and rap with each other anymore.
And that's the thing, though, man. Like, we gotta, I know that we're all doing our parts. Like in the schools and working with these youths and trying to help them understand. Like how we can just sprinkle that knowledge, that awareness, to so that they know that I mean, God permits, life permits, man, that they actually become OGs themselves. A lot of the younger generations, that they're not thinking that longevity. They're just thinking like, hey, man, just as a lot of us were brought up to think that we were only going to live to the age of 25. That brings a whole type of attitude and a way of life. But when you're, thinking much broader than that, man, it changes a lot of your perspectives and whatnot. So, we all got to do our part and lead by example and, show and prove and all that good stuff, man. But yeah, it is frustrating, without a doubt. It is frustrating.
It is. Yo, Righteous, thanks for that link, man. I'm gonna peep that a little later. And
all right. I'm gonna
what you got? What you want to get into?
Yeah, we're going to get into this. Our partnership with Hit Story out in Montreal, and you know what I mean. We did a little interview, man. So, and that's what's up. So I don't know. You want to do a little do a little intro for this, man. Since it's you on the screen right now, I want to do a little intro. Like what is this?
This was wonderful. This was Saturday morning with the youth dem and the community. Shout out to my big brother Logik from Stolen from Africa, because he linked up with Kardinal Offishall, Toronto King, good man, good musician, and just good spirited human who just blessed the whole theater full of us young, gifted, and Black people in Toronto to go watch Wakanda Forever together. So it was great. It was really dope. It was really
and a stream here for Reminisce Show and Hit Story and just Toronto culture in general. Wakanda Forever premiere. It's so good. But we're here in a special gathering of it. It's Saturday morning gathering with the people them, put on by Kardinal Offishall.
Great.
Freedom. I'm just trying to get in your arms tonight. I'm just trying to get in your arms tonight. I know it's cool.
I'm representing Reminisce Show and Hit Story, but it's Stolen from Africa. We out here, man, and you did a beautiful thing for us today, man. This is not the first time you've carried on Toronto community on your back, but we just gathered here for the Black Panther premiere, and we just want to talk about the importance of gathering in community. Like, what inspired you to just do this?
You know what? Honestly, it was a big up Cameron Bailey, because during TIFF, there was a few movies that we saw during TIFF where they invited just a bunch of us out.
Okay.
I think what it was right after that, we were like, yo, how can we do this so that kids can have this experience?
Yes.
Because I remember the experience was dope for us, but it's like, we always get stuff. How can we do it for the kids that don't have access?
We are here with the brother names.
Yeah, Marley, man. Marley Zion, Young Boy Pablo.
I'ma pay my dues, he used to pay respect. Create a space for the blessings, you gotta lose the heart. How my people get up off that curb, yeah, I'ma keep my word.
We just want to talk to you about being part of the community, man. I mean, we could just watch this on a regular Tuesday, but we're here on a Saturday morning special with Kardinal. How do you feel like watching it together with the people there? Like,
Definitely, it's like I think one thing about community, like you're saying, is like creating the experience that creates a positive impact with the people who are taking part in it, you know what I'm saying? So we all know, like, you know, man's like Kardinal, like, you know, that's a legend, you know what I'm saying? But he also has the young community out here, you know what I'm saying? So, like, the leaders of the new generation is here, and we're all taking part in a positive experience together, you know what I'm saying? That's going to create a positive impact. And when we're watching a movie like Black Panther, you know what I'm saying, Wakanda too, this is talking about, like, the depths of, like, our culture, like, you know what I'm saying, is what it's, like, themed around, you know? So I think it's a very powerful thing. And like it's a blessed way to spend a Saturday morning, you know what I'm saying?
Apple.
100.
Straight up, man. Straight up.
So we're here today with
Jet Li. You can't keep up to the mega city jet pace.
and we're just getting a couple thoughts before we go into this Black Panther movie. So what are some of your thoughts?
I can't wait to see it. Black Power. Black Panther. That's my favorite.
Okay, bet. Well, thank you for sharing today. You're going in with a clear mind, with like no expectations today?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool.
You know, I expect that.
Okay, bet. All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
All right.
Wakanda forever.
Yes, Black Panther.
You know, everybody, the energy's in the building. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm sure we're gonna be cheering at certain parts, and you know, a lot of people enjoy the movie a lot more than a lot of other cultures. You know what I'm saying? So there might be a little cheering, there might be a little talking, yelling, you know what I'm saying? But it's all gonna be a positive and enriching experience for all of us. You know, it's stolen from Africa. Here. I'm gonna say like, yo, listen. When I deal with young men in the community and encouraging them to be academics and stuff, comic books is the number one motivator because it's all science. It's all academics.
Yeah, you're right.
You feel me?
You're so right.
If you know comic books, you know science.
Cool. So even before I wanted to get into hip hop, my first dream was to be a comic book illustrator. Like Batman is my father, Spider-Man is my dad. As you're right, like all of that is science and art and culture and wisdom. And like, shout out to Stan Lee for making Black Panther the smartest man in the universe in 1960s. So
he's brilliant. But I mean, he had a lot of actual real African characters to base it off of, right? We know who invented the internet, the ones and zeros. You know, Nigerian man, right? So like, let's just understand where Stan Lee, where all these academics are coming from with their understandings of the world and society.
But can we get one Wakanda forever? Wakanda forever. My name is My Minute Supreme, and we are here with
Britannia.
Yes. It's Wakanda Forever Time Part 2, and yes, you already know what it is. So, but we're here in this wonderful big group. Like, what do you? How do you feel like it might be a little different, or?
I think, especially since the end of COVID, like we've all gotten to reunite. But also I think the impact of Black Panther, which had both good and with everything, that it's brought a lot to it. And just kind of seeing this second movie paying homage to him. But also, again, like the movie is supposed to look at the struggles in which like the Wakanda is going through with, that passing of King T'Challa. And I think it's gonna be really an important and a kind of like a warrior spirit type of energy that is gonna be brought into this movie. And having community, I think that's really what Wakanda is really speaking about. It's always having community.
Here are the Wakanda Forever world premiere. DJ known as
Agile. How you guys doing, man?
No, you're a big comic fan. You big.
I want to say big. I would say like intermediate. You know what I mean? Like there's like entry level, intermediate, super nerd fan. Like
like Wakanda Forever for sure. But do you have like another Chadwick Boseman movie that you really loved?
There's a few. 42 was great.
Mastermind in the back. You got him. I love that.
Yeah. He's ad-libbing in the track. I would say you're putting me on the spot because I don't have his discography in front of me.
It's all,
That's A, and then B. I don't have his discography in front of me, and that's A, and B. I would have to go through and like pull out the ones that I had an emotional attachment to and rewatch them. This is definitely his most iconic role.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's for sure. It touched the world in a way that This movie is slightly impossible. I really want to see how the general reaction is to it, because I was thinking, like, you know, Christopher Reeve died. He wasn't actually playing Superman at the time, but like, we've had characters die, and we've had the mantle passed on through certain characters. Multiple people have been Spider-Man. Multiple people have been certain things. But Black Panther is a little different, and like, yeah. So, I mean,
Well, I got a message this morning because someone saw it yesterday, and all they said was like, they said you're in for a ride, you're in for a treat. So that's and this is a very harsh film critic type of person, that kind of friend. So he sent me that message. He saw it last night. So I'm not so worried. I think more than anything is Chadwick's story that he recorded these roles while he was still sick. He was fighting his illness, and we had no idea.
That part.
And that just goes to like the perseverance and inner strength. You know?
Like as far as like literally being the actual superhero that we see on screen, like embodying it in every character and fiber of his being on screen, off screen, and not even just being humble about it, like the humble, magnificent superstar that he is. So,
and that was of all the things that was revealed after his passing, I think that one touched me the most because nobody knew. You know what I mean? And he shielded us from it so we can just enjoy the stories, right? And I think that absolutely superhero-esque.
For us, and then for Chadwick, man, like, thank you. I come from days of like, we did this with Boys in the Hood and Juice from back in the days.
We did
like,
it for everything. Even for anything.
You know that. So that's like you carrying on that tradition is just so vital, because you know some of the internet kids and whatever, you can get it online or whatever, you stream it, and it's not the same as watching it in the community together. And you know, we obviously did it for Black Panther 1, but doing it again for Black Panther 2, thank you very much for that, man.
I think it's a thing where a lot of times, honestly, we don't get to experience these things together anymore.
Together,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's like, you know, the funny thing, it's not even just relegated to like our community. I think society is just becoming more and more separate.
Yeah,
and people just doing very much
Splinter.
fragmented, and people are not getting to experience things. Look to your right, look to your left, see people laugh, see them cry. All these different things are things that contribute to who we are as people as we get older. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important, especially like, you know, my whole family was here, my young kids and stuff. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's just important for us to keep passing on tradition so we don't lose tradition, so we don't lose culture. And so, you know what I mean? We don't lose communities. I think all those things are important.
You're absolutely right. Until that day, I'm going to be in the theater with you day one on that movie, man. Yo, thank you so much, Cardi. What you do for us can never be too much love.
That's what's up, man. Yo, epic interviews, man. Epic interviews, man. That's what's up. Yo, we got a lot more coming down the pipeline, man. I mean, we're going to be out everywhere, man. Just, you know, bringing back that throwback much music vibe. You know what I mean? All the real heads know what we're talking about, man. But we're bringing that energy back, man. You know what I mean? Bringing the power back to the people, them. You know what I mean? Making it accessible, giving that experience, man, that connection. You know what I mean? So even if you weren't there, you won't feel like you were there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up.
That's what we're giving. That's what we're giving. And real quick, Righteous, I thought that exact same thing. I thought that Zion clip was from Sherborne. Right?
It is. He's from Bleecker, so you already know what it is. You don't know, yeah, man. Yeah, Marley John, aka Young Boy Problem. He's one of my young youths, man. You know, who came up. He's actually probably a young gentleman from one of my programs that later on became like a youth mentor, and now he's doing amazing things in the community. So definitely look out for him. Support the movement. Marley Zion, Young Boy Problem, doing his thing. You know, speaking that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He's actually building with Raz right now. You know what I mean? So he's definitely getting the knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's doing all that, man. So, you know, shout out to the gods, man. You already know what it is. But yo, that's what's up, man. But like for you, like, what was that vibe like? You know, just being in community and just being in the experience, yo.
It was really good, man. Because like, I really thank you for that. It was really special seeing it in a group full of Black people because I did like I do have a tradition with some of my super nerd dudes. I sometimes get a little higher on the intermediate scale with that Agile was talking, and my dudes. I have some homies in Scarborough. Shout out to my day one friends, their family, but they just buy Marvel tickets automatically. So I did see it on Thursday night, and it was cool, but it like the energy felt different seeing it on Saturday with the youth in a full of, you know, just primarily Black people. So it was so funny. I just had that one moment when that dude was like, "Yo, that's Black Panther's girlfriend, yo," when Nakia showed up. And just that one moment, that dude shouted, and that just little moment. Just like just feeling it with the kids, man, having the popcorn. It was just really good. Man, Cardi is such a good human being, man. I'm so thankful to just see him again and just see it with everybody. That would Mastermind and Agile talking movies and all that stuff.
Mastermind with the ad-libs. But it just shows the community vibe, man. I love that, man.
I love that, man. I saw them down like a couple seats in front of us, and Juan Love was there. Shout out to Juan. And like, yeah, man, it was so good, man. Thank you for that. It's just like, I mean, we say it, but it's really like at least once a year, man. We all need to see like every hip hop movie, man. We all need to just get up in a theater and just do groups of us just checking it out. Because it feels better. It just feels better, man. We know we could all get it for free and just sit at home and just download it, whatever. And it's just lazy and convenient.
No, but it's that experience, you know, and I'm going to keep an eye out for that for like other films that are relevant. I know that, you know, like you know, in Toronto, we have a lot of film festivals. There's like the Real World Film Festival. There's like the Hot Doc. There's the Toronto Black International Film. I'm going to like, you know, and reach out to, you know, some of these spots more intentionally because, you know, I do have, you know, I know a little 1-2 peoples and whatnot. And yeah, like make it like a thing where we can, you know, watch films and then have like debriefs after and like share. And because it all boils down to like connection, you know, and that's something that has like interrupted us, you know, during COVID and whatnot. So any opportunities for us to, you know, come together and congregate and be amongst each other, I think like, you know, is the motive. So yeah, man, that's what's up. I'm here for it.
And like to continue on that point, I've seen some of the pictures. I didn't get to make it out because I've been pretty damn busy. But I've seen some of the pictures for some of the other screenings for the Plady record.
Right. Oh yeah. It's still going and it's all like sold out. Like I really hope that they really get to push it and, you know, like who knows, man, maybe it gets, you know, like picked up on other like festivals. Like, you know, like I want them to do their run, you know what I mean, before it goes on to like streaming platforms and whatnot. Like let it do its thing because clearly there's a demand for it. You know, and the more that it comes up, that gives them a stronger, you know, case. You know, so when they come with their demands or a list of requests, they could be like, "Hey, look, this is something that's important, and you may want to get behind this." You know,
it sold out the first 4 times they showed it in Toronto. The couple plays at the Hot Docs, and then they played it at the Fox Theater, and it looked really dope. Shout out to all the people who are covering it. Shout out Freddie Fame and the people who got to get those screenings. I wish I could have been there, but man, Eugene is just golden gem. Love that.
Wow, man.
And yeah, man, it's been a wild week. Some other things happening in the culture. Hopefully people just find peace and just chill and just let each other live. And
I just want to shout out to big up the man them there. I just want to shout out. I just got like a reply from like an Instagram message I sent out from Jellystone, yo. Yeah, she says, "Yo, hail up Mind Mender, yo." You know what I mean? So that was a shout out from Jellystone. I sent her a message. I was just like, "Yo, we got to get you on this." You know what I mean? So his message,
say that, please say that, because
I mean his message was basically saying like, "Yo, he's kind of, you know, out of town for the month or whatever, but he'll check back in at the end of the month." So I'm not making any promises, but you know what I mean? We'll see what we can do, man. But we get Jellystone, yo, that might have to be like a 3-hour special, fam. Yo, that might have to be. Anyways, but
I can't even really talk right now. Like I look up to that guy with the utmost respect, man. I don't even know him too well, but we've crossed paths many times over the years, and we see each other, and like, man, Jellystone, I want to really have us sit down and talk with that guy, man, because that guy is a OG king in Toronto. That guy is a stand-up dude. I have, man, I can't even get
we have to give him his flowers, man. So big up Jellystone. I just saw that. I wanted to give you that message, man. He said, yo, big up my mentor, like exclamation mark. So yo, I
hold that close, man. I hold this Jellystone thing. I have this Jellystone thing beside my Red Man blunt and my Humpty Hump goggles and my Royce the 5.9 Patron and my Drake autograph. I got this, man. Jellystone is a legend to me here. So yes, I love that dude. Please tell him I say big up.
Yeah, true indeed.
I don't even want to ruin that surprise, man, but that man made me.
What's the thing? But we got some stuff lined up. Another interview that striving to get is with Rob, the director of Drop the Needle. So he put me in contact with some of his peoples, and I'm gonna follow up with them and see what we can do. And yeah, man, just keep this in, man. I just want to bang out like a bunch of like interviews, like live interviews for the end of the year. So when we do our end of the year wrap up, we could be like, yo, we really did the thing this year, man. Like we were really out here, man. Just covering and feeling love and whatnot. So
we doing our best, man. And like it's such a weird year. Like it's obviously it's like have one foot out in the pandemic and one foot still kind of in the ninth phase of the pandemic. So like whatever. And like, but we still out here doing the best we can. And the industry's all weird, but man, there's some good things happening, and it's really been really good to see people continuing.
True indeed.
Because man, not everybody's doing this now. Magazine's gone. Certain rappers are dying. Websites are going down. Like things are just, media is just turning into a different thing. So it's just the way I'm thinking about it is just like there's only not as many people are just telling the truth as they see it. Like, so
well, for me, like that's what just gives what we do like a really special lane, because we come from like a place where we want to see truth as we see it. But we're also curious, and inquisitive, you know what I mean? So like, we're like, hey, something's going on over here. Let's go check it out. Like, we're without like an agenda in mind. It's just like, here's just an honest account of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And so it gives us a lane, and it's something that we do really well, man. Because like, when I watch the videos, I'm like, I always ask myself, I'm like, is this something that I would just like watch? Like if this came across my YouTube channels or whatever, would this be something that I would be interested in and take in? I'd be like, yeah, it is actually.
I agree with you there. I totally agree with you there. And I like that because I feel like we are doing what our intentions are to do it. And it feels like we are capturing the essence of the events that we are going to.
Yeah.
Because
the time period. Because one thing that I like, and for me, even just from a film perspective, what I'm trying to capture, it's like what's happening around. That's why I like filming, like, when we're like outdoors or in certain events or certain spaces, because over time these spaces like change and sometimes they even disappear.
Yeah.
So when we're like filming, say we're doing something at Young and Dundas, like today or whatever, 10 years from now, that we can do that same frame and it will look hella different. Like imagine us doing interviews back in the late 90s, Dundas Square. You know what I mean? Just what it would look like,
Wow, exactly.
Like that's gold to me, like to really capture the moments and the energy, because, you see like what the people are wearing in the background and it speaks to like what's popular in the times and what's trendy and this and that. And it's just like, yo, that's crazy. Like, so those are the things that go into my mind when I'm like filming and capturing stuff. So it's not just the subjects we're interviewing, but it's really capturing the essence of the moment. Indeed.
I'm so with you, fam, and you do it so well. Your editing is fantastic, and thank you for it's so great, man. Let's just keep getting our interviews in these trenches, man. It's so good. So I think I ain't got nothing left.
All right, man. Well, that's what's up, man. It's been a blessed week. I'm excited to see what else may come our way.
The last thing, I don't even know much about it, but the last thing was the Grammy nominations came out today.
Oh, word. I have no clue about that. So you have the list handy? Like what?
No, I don't. I did hear Pusha T was nominated. Future was nominated. Jack Harlow was nominated.
Okay.
And his album was the most disappointing out of all of those.
Jack Harlow?
Yeah, man. I expected such a better album. I had my eye on him. I like him, and I know he'll do better next time around. But man, he was really lazy on this album. Man,
it's lazy. It's one of those albums that like I don't want to say this because it may sound like I'm dissing or whatever, but it's like it's good background music. Like you know what I mean? Like it's something you put on in the background. Like you're not really paying attention to the lyrics, but like you're at a party and you're having conversations and the music in the background. Like it's kind of one of those types of vibes. Like if you're cruising and you know what I mean, like you're with your special somebody or whatever, and like you're not really, again, it's just a vibe, you know what I mean? But
that's it. And it's like, yeah, this is supposed to be your debut album, man. Like the Slim Shady album isn't a background album. Like as a like seriously, like we've kind of evolved beyond some things, but we haven't evolved beyond everything. And as a white rapper, you cannot rest on your laurels or slack, man. You still gotta bring it, especially if you're signed on a major label. Like you will get the Eminem comparison and be like, yo, man, if you're nowhere even close, why the fuck is anybody gonna listen to you? Like you have to be good. And like so like yeah, man, and he can be good sometimes. I like Nail Tech, and First Class was okay, but Nail Tech was a dope song. And Churchill Downs was a dope song with Drake, but Drake obliterated him on the track with maybe Drake's best verse of the year of 2022. And Drake, like a third of that song is better. A third of Drake's verse is better than all of fucking his album.
So,
but the last thing I will say is I think Toby Nwigwe was also nominated. So that's like I think the only dope Grammy thing that I'm like, yeah, big up to that. But besides that, I don't. Who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy?
I'm just looking at I'm just looking at the list here. I see Record of the Year, like Kendrick's in Mary J. Blige. Okay, I didn't.
Mary J. Blige, yeah. Good morning, hello, good morning, gorgeous.
Yeah. Good morning, gorgeous.
Love
let me see what else. Yeah, so there's Record of the Year, and then there's Album of the Year. So Kendrick Lamar's in there, Mary J. Blige, of course, Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Harry Styles, Lizzo, Song of the Year. I'm just trying to skim if I see.
I think I heard that Beyonce's nominations this year make her the most Grammy-nominated artist in the history of everything, and I think it's number 88 for her. She just surpassed Jay-Z.
Yeah, she looks like every list, whatever.
Yeah, I think she's the most of all time.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Okay, well, I'm just scrolling. You know what I mean? I don't see any Drake. Maybe I see.
Yeah, no, Drake takes his shit out of consideration. He doesn't even want.
Oh, that's right. I love. Yeah, it's low key such like a boss move. Wow, but this actually, I don't mean to take up so much time though, but this is something that actually came up. I saw Brother Ian Kamau posted this article, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's about Drake and speaking towards some of his of misogyny and things of that nature. And I was like, it's interesting perspectives, interesting perspectives.
Yo, I want to see what Kamau has to say about that. Yo, Righteous, I just want to let you know
we'll probably continue that next week or whatever, but like it's interesting, and like a lot of people were like, well, hey, if you don't like the lyrics, don't listen to it, but this is all part of like art, and it's open for interpretation, and when it's put out in the public sphere, then becomes public domain or whatever. And when people say, oh, society's a problem, whatever, well, like society has the opportunity to respond and critique and have an opinion, essentially. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Like at the end of the day, artists can do whatever they want. Like I am a firm supporter of just like honest accounts of what people are experiencing, even if I don't agree with it. I think like as soon as we start like restricting creativity, that becomes something else. But that being said, you know, there's intention and then there's impact. And, you know, if things are put out a certain way, people are like, that's interesting. You know, it's worth discussing. So,
yeah,
but we can save that for next time.
Yeah, let's get into it next time. And like, yo, I'm man, Drake occupies such an interesting space. Yeah, he's like, he does these progressive things, and then sometimes he's like, yo, I don't give a fuck. And like people, it's, you know, it's, I don't judge him because Eminem does the same thing, and it's just like when you're that high, like it doesn't even matter. When you're at a certain point, no matter what you do, somebody will complain about it. So it's like you, on a certain level, you can't give a fuck. But at the same time, I will dovetail this into Righteous saying, what's the definition of misogyny? It's like, I mean, essentially it's, you know, it's like patriarchy and toxic masculinity, and but bottom line, dehumanizing women and the disrespect and the inequality of women, or, you know, other genders. So that's the bottom line.
The way my short response to that is like, you know, for me, like when I look at something, I look at it through a lens of like maybe like 4 different levels of consciousness. And it's like, you know, I'm going to explain it, man. Like when it comes to like, you know, the output of certain music, especially with an artist like Drake, who's just like, you know, out there and whatever, I feel like, you know, he knows how to work the machine, and he knows how to get people like responsive, and you know, as long as people are talking about it, that's kind of like part of like the machine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he'll throw in like a, you know, a song that might be more empowering, and then we'll just kind of move with that emotion. Like he really knows how to work, and I feel like he's reached so many peaks that he's like, yo, let me throw some static a little bit. Let me get some static, man. Like just get people going, you know?
He takes like 8 or 9 shots on this album at random people. That it's just like
people are responding to it, right? They are jumping on lives with
everyone.
But I'm like, that's part of the plan. Like he's, you know, very calculating. Like nothing is by chance. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's very calculating. But
I'm so with you. And I'm like, you know, everybody has their choices and their relationships and their reasons. So I'm like, I mean, I'm not gonna. Drake, you know, Drake says occasionally some disrespectful things to women here and there, but at the same time, Drake is the Drake on his platform. Like, before I even say 2 things to really support him, one, there are fucking 500 MCs that are 1,000 times way more disrespectful to women than Drake is. Are you serious? Like, fuck, we're still dealing with fucking Too Shortism and fucking, I mean, fucking, yo, Mystical is in jail for his 3rd rape. There are people who are actually doing really, and you know, I've heard rumors and stuff about Drake. We're not going to get into that here. That's a big other case. But you know, Drake on his position, I'm impressed when he says shit like, you know, I'm quoting him. I kind of don't like to use these words, but I'm quoting him. He's like, most of the niggas that are bitch, when he says, you know, when I'm saying bitches, I'm mostly referring to niggas. You know, y'all niggas are more bitches, and whatever he goes on about that time, and then the funny thing he said on this album is he goes, I gave a stripper $500,000. I'm a feminist.
That's gonna get the feminists, like, you know, like all the way typing. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But but there's a certain truth to it though too. So it's like
no, like it's, but to me, like that's a hip hop line. You know what I mean? That's a hip hop line. But definitely, you know what Righteous is saying. Like he doesn't think that Drake hates women. Yeah, I wouldn't call it like hatred, but I feel like, you know, when you're at a certain like level that he's at, and the experiences that come with that, and the energy, it's like it's a lot, man. You know what I mean? I remember when Drake first came out. You know what I mean? One of his songs, he's like, yo, I got like 200 women in like each phone or something like that. And that was back in like 2012 or something. So never mind. Like
I never even heard that. I never heard that line. I mean, I probably did.
It was on the feature with Bun B. With Bun B.
Oh shit!
And he says that line. I was just like, yo, like I believe you, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's it.
But it's like
I want that.
Anyway. but I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a lot of like energy. So, you know, for, you know, obviously not talking like about everybody, but, you know, there is experiences that come with it. And not all experiences are going to be great. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's going to be experiences that are going to be frustrating, that might even be, you know, like angry. And,
hey, man,
you know, you got some words to say.
If Drake is having regular consensual sex with a condom with a young woman, and then she takes the condom and tries to scrape it out and put his sperm in her vagina and get her pregnant, he has every right to complain. That's fucked up. He has every right to fucking complain. And like when he says the things that he says, like, yo, man, like just, I mean, you know, you obviously have power and privilege when you're one of the richest people in the world, but you still are a human being. And like, I remember that time Drake went to that party and they're like, we ain't letting you in. You're not on this guest list. And he's like, do you know who I am? And they're like, yeah, we know who you are, but you're not on the list. And we only have space for these people. And we're not even letting you in. And he has this moment where he's like, he laughs and he's like, damn. And he just looks around and, you know, he has this very human moment where he's like, yeah, man, like, no, like, doesn't matter who you are. Not everybody gets everything in the world. And like, he's a human. So like humans can, like, doesn't matter. Like, Puff Daddy took a fucking L, man. Like, it's not like just because you're rich doesn't mean like everything in life is perfect and you never lose or can never be disrespected or never can be hurt or whatever. Like, nah, man, they're humans. So like, yeah, man, like I feel for him too, man. You know, there must be a lot of pressure. So
true. Yeah,
man. But yeah, man, we'll get into it more later. We'll I'm with you, Righteous, man. There's a lot more rappers out there that I would put under the hot seat for hating women than Drake, man. Like in hip hop culture, are you kidding?
Yeah, definitely a lot, you know. But either way, it's great for us to talk about it and explore and gain some more understanding and whatnot. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
But anyways,
yeah, man. Yeah, you know, everyone. I wish you all well and listen to the music and musicians that.
But you know, you can play that quick scene from Young and Dundas. And I love the fact that it's from '92 because that was the exact year that we moved. My family moved from Scarborough. We're over like at Kennedy and Ellesmere. We moved downtown, Young and Charles to be specific. And so this was like, I'm like 10 years old, and just imagine 10 years old walking around downtown on a Friday night, like just like yo. Oh man,
Young Dundas, yo, for real, man. Young Dundas shopping mall. Oh man, I don't know if I still have any pants from here, but I bought a lot of pants there, yo. I bought gear. So that Licks was one of my favorites, just to eat burgers. Best veggie burger in the world at that Licks.
Will they be singing at you?
I used to fuck with that hard.
That jewelry shop with Brenda, yo, be selling all kinds of silvers back in the day, yo. Yeah, the shopping mall. Oh man, what a vibe!
Just classic, you know, yo. OG Toronto, thanks, Righteous. It's just good to reflect on this sometimes.
Yeah,
Atrium still looks like that, man.
Yeah, it still does. Yeah. Right, just saying, yo, I'm the quarter man selling clothes. Yeah, that was peace, man. That was peace.
New York and Buffalo.
Yeah. Yo, I remember just like the old Eaton Center escalator, man, that would go up and then have that kind of like that like circle round area where all the madmen from downtown would just par and like, yo, it was just such a vibe, man.
Yeah,
such a wild vibe.
OG Toronto.
OG Toronto, man, with all the arcades, yo. I remember being a kid there, man. Like after 6 o'clock, man, they would kick us out, man. Be like, y'all gotta go.
Oh, yo, for real. Yeah, Funland was real, yo, man. Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat, my God.
Crazy, man, crazy, yo.
Word. Right, man. Yo, Righteous, man. Yo, we be telling the stories and shout out to all my people, but yo, take us home, Logik.
Well, that's it, man. Just Reminisce Show, man. We're just, building up that energy, telling our stories, connecting with the people, and just giving that experience, man, because that's what I realize it's all about, man. Like, it's all about the experience, whether it's through music, whether it's us, like, live on scene, whether it's having a conversation, man. We're building building the experiences, man, and that's what we're bringing to the table, man. So we do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Reminisce Show, carrying the traditions of Sankofa, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we may have forgotten. So we're gonna keep pushing back and then pushing forward at the same time, yo. You know what I mean? So peace. Shout out to everyone in Touch Base, and we out, man. We want to keep bringing y'all content, man. So stay tuned, man. We just want to get bigger and bigger and bigger, yo.
Righteous Natalia. Oh my God. All the watches.